Hi, everyone. Welcome to another weight loss journey, another week in the books. This is just completing week number 8. 8 weeks, 2 months. 2 months today, I started the new lifestyle, diet, whatever you want to call it. Before I start, let me tell you, as I say at the beginning, I'm not a doctor. I am not a physician. I'm not a weight loss expert. I'm not a dietitian, nutritionist, anything like that. This is just telling you what I've been doing and how I have worked it for me. And, consult your own physicians and doctors. Don't necessarily take everything I'm saying verbatim. It's up to you. All right. That's the first thing. So, I see we got some people here ready to start. I'll wait a little bit, see if more people join as usual. And it's an interesting week. A lot of times I say that. A lot of times I say it's been an interesting week. And this is very interesting. When I tell you some of the things that went on this past 7 days, you won't believe it. And I don't believe it in a way. And it's good results, you know. I got water here. I'm laying off the LaCroix for a while. LaCroix that I have, the seltzer, the flavored seltzer, even though it has no sugar, no carbs, no nothing, I don't know why. I'm thinking I'm better off when I don't drink it with my weight results. I don't know why. Call it gas, call it carbonation. I don't know what it is, but I'm sticking with water now again. Pretty much. Although I did have a little bit during this week of the LaCroix. I did. I had a little bit. So far, we have Ramoga here saying hello. We have Empty Glass. Hello. Always good to see Empty Glass in these discussions because, he's into it. And hello, James Farley. And hello, Robbie. There's our starting lineup. I know we got more people watching than posting. Like Walkman, for example. Hello. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy today. I'm very happy. And I'm happy with my results. And I'm happy because also last week was not very good. This week was good, but it didn't look good the whole time. Even as of yesterday, 24 hours ago, it looked pretty bad. It looked like it was going to be a real problem. So I wasn't really too happy. Yesterday I wasn't. And today, what a difference a day makes, okay? So, yeah, I'm going to wait for some more people to arrive, and then we'll talk more. So, we'll wait for other people. So, what's going on? What kind of week has it been? I got to the flea market today with my friend Mikey. On this channel, I'll have a video up for those of you who like the flea market videos. It was quite a wild and fun morning today at the flea market. And right after this is done live, I'm going to put up a video on this channel, another flea market thing. Try seeded keto bread rather than white keto. It's less like sponge and has more flavor. Well, you beat me to the punch. You beat me to the punch, Peter Boothroyd, because I'm going to talk about keto bread. This past week, I had my first experience with keto bread. I tried it, and yeah, we're going to talk about it. I just want to make sure, just in case some other key players are not here, because it's, as I often say, I don't want to say everything twice or 3 or 4 times, but I may have to do that sometimes. Sometimes you have to go over it a few times. All right, let's start, because I want to start, but not a lot of people are here. All right, all right, I will. Okay, this past week, there you go. This past week, I lost 2.4 pounds. My goal is to lose, I'd like to lose 2 pounds a week. I know 2 pounds a week is not always realistic. Sometimes I'll settle for 1 pound or 1.5, 1.5, whatever it is. But 2 is really where I want to be. This past week, I lost more than 2. I lost 2.4. So the total weight loss for the entire 8 weeks, this is week 8, it is 2 months today, is a total loss of 14.6 pounds. And I am very, very over the moon happy with that. And the reason I'm happy about that is because my goal was 14 pounds by now, and I wound up being 14.6. So I'm actually over my goal by a little bit, which is fine. I didn't think I was going to get there. Um, as I always word it, I say, in a perfect world, if I could have my way, it would be 16 pounds. It would be 8 pounds a month if I could. But I'll take 7. I'll take 7. I know there's going to be months where I only lose 5, maybe 5 pounds, maybe 6. So to lose over a little over 7 pounds the first 2 months each was pretty good. 14.6 down. Mick64 says, I can't do any bread. And we're going to talk about that a little bit. And hello to Penny Lane. So, yeah. Thank you very much, Empty Glass. But it was a rough week. It was such a rough week, I can't even tell you. I did some cheats, too. Just a couple of cheats. And even though I cheated on the diet, yeah, I did. My want power disappeared a couple of times, sort of. And even though the want power left me a couple of times, they weren't huge, big cheats. There wasn't constant cheating. And I still managed to drop 2.6 pounds. See, Jill, you got to get here early, Jill. I wait especially for Jill, but she always comes 10 minutes or so late. Yes, this week I lost 2.4 pounds this week for a total of 14.6 in 8 weeks. So 2 months, 14.6, which is over my goal of 7 pounds a week would be great. So I'm a little over that. And Walkman says, I wouldn't call them cheats. You're human. It's a stray off the path. Exactly. Yeah, it is great. But Drill, wait till I tell you what I did. I did have a couple of cheats. And, we talk all the time, J.D. Thompson and I, about how it's not just about gaining weight. It's not just about calories per se. It's also about your metabolism. It's also about how you want to treat your body. Now, there's a lot I'm going to talk about. I'm making some notes here so I don't forget. I want to talk again about my mood swings, my body chemistry, if you want to call it the keto flu, something called the keto flu. If you want to talk about being weak, I've had some really bad spells. I have. And I got so much to talk about this week. I can't explain. Right now, today, I'm doing great. I'm doing great today. Feel really good. Hold on a minute. I got lots to talk about. I'm just making sure notes so I don't forget any bullet points. All right, let me start by saying I'm going to do the numbers. It's easier talking in weight numbers. Last Sunday, I was. Oh, wait a minute. I'll make sure I get it right. I'm looking at the wrong notes. I think I was back to 307 pounds last Sunday, and then by Wednesday of this week, I was I hit like 304 point something on Wednesday, and I was happy. Same thing happened last week. Same thing. I went to 304 on Wednesday, and then yesterday, I went back to 307. So I was on the verge of not losing anything. I mean, and again, keep in mind we're talking about water weight fluctuations, stuff in your body not yet digested. Not to be repetitive, but water weight. So to go on last Sunday at 307, and then Wednesday to hit 304 point something, and then on Saturday to hit 307 again, and look like it's going to be a bust for today, and then to go 304.6. I mean, how did I go from 307 yesterday to 304.6 today? Now I know you can't possibly. I don't think you can lose. Whatever it is, 2.4 pounds in a day. So it's probably water weight yesterday, fake, false water weight. But what I will say, what I did yesterday was I really put the nose to the grindstone, so to speak. Yesterday there was nothing left amiss. I made sure I walked hard. I walked yesterday. I made sure I didn't eat anything after dinner. There's so much I could tell you that I've been slipping up on this past week here and there. Um, I did everything right yesterday to assure that today would be a better reading. I expected it to go down from 307. Well, I didn't expect it to go down to 304.6 overnight, but and James Foley says water weight 7 pounds per gallon. Well, yeah. All right. So let's talk about what I did during the week. During the week, I discovered keto bread. Early in the week, I think it was last Sunday. I think it was probably right after the live stream. My girlfriend and I did grocery shopping, and I bought a loaf of keto bread. I said, let's try the keto bread. I think the brand was Nature's Own. I think Nature's Own it was. I've never had keto bread before. A number of people have been recommending it. My idea was don't eat any bread, keto bread or otherwise. Well, the keto bread that I bought was 35 calories per slice. And I wasn't so much, again, worried about the calories as I was worried about what it might do to my system, because I seem to have a sensitive system. And when it's trying to get used to eating a certain way, and then you keep on throwing it curveballs and changing what you're putting into it, I don't think my system knows how to adjust. So anyway, let's put it this way. I bought a loaf of bread. And over the course of the 7 days, the keto bread, the whole loaf was eaten, not at once. Sometimes I had one slice in a day. Sometimes I had 2 slices. Sometimes I had one again. Sometimes I had 4 slices. There were a couple of days where I was getting craving the keto bread. I was craving it. Now, but I got ahead of myself. When I first bit into my first slice of keto bread, first of all, it smelled awful. Keto bread does not smell like regular bread. It smells bad. It's a foreign kind of smell compared to what we're used to bread smelling like. And when I bit into the first slice of bread, the first thing I noticed was it was like eating rubber. It was like eating a sponge. And the crust of the keto bread was like... to bite that crust was like pulling through rubber. And I was like, this sucks. This bread sucks. And I didn't really enjoy that first slice. And then my girlfriend, she ate some of it. I recommended it to her because she's a diabetic. So she has type 2 diabetes. So she brought a sandwich to work and she came home and she said it was horrible also. She agreed with me. She'll never eat it again. And she said to me, in her words, she described it well. She said when she bit into that keto bread, my girlfriend said, she felt like she was eating an egg carton. It was like that one gnat I have in here. It was like trying to bite through and taste it. He was tasting and chewing on an egg carton. That was an appropriate way of describing it. It wasn't very good, but you know what? Because I had the loaf anyway, over the days, several days that followed this past week, I kept eating it a little every day, and I wound up being okay with it. It wasn't anything like real bread, but it was okay. And I started noticing that I was eating at least a slice a day, and sometimes 2 slices a day. And as I say, sometimes 4, or just a couple of times. But so it was 35 calories per slice, so it wasn't a lot. What was that doing to my system? I don't know. I don't know what it was doing to my system. And there's a lot I have to talk about that as well. So let's take a moment here for Jill to add. Keto bread usually has lots of processed bad stuff in it, almost worse than really high quality bread. Sorry to say, it's ultra processed food. I have no doubts of that, Jill. I have no doubts it's not good for me to eat, really. So even though you get obsessed with the idea of reduced caloric intake, that's not all there is to it. So I got to tell you too, I can't stress this enough. And Peter says some bakeries will make fresh keto for you. I can't stress this enough. Okay, I don't want to talk too much about this because a lot of people out there won't understand it. But I had problems in my 20s. I'm now in my early 60s. When I was in my early 20s, 40 years ago, I had issues. I had, like, I don't know, mood swings, problems, not able to think straight, not able to think clear. I'm not going to go too deep into it because it's hard to describe. A lot of people won't understand. Some of it was anxiety as well. Anxiety can do a number on you too. But most of the anxiety I had was because in my 20s, when I didn't know what the hell was going on, I'd get panicky. I'd get nervous. And I would go to the doctors and I would say, look, this is what's going on. I feel this, I feel that. And they'd say to me, well, you have anxiety. And I'd say, yeah. But let's put the chicken before the egg. Okay. First, I'm not feeling well physically. And then the mental stuff is from the worry and the panic over it. It's not and they kept, we didn't know chicken and the egg. So anyway, I don't have those problems anymore in life, but I had them last week off and on. Off and on, I had them. And at times I was like, man, this sucks. And I'm telling you, there were a couple of days I'd wake up like that too. I'd wake up feeling like that. And I'd wake up and I'd say, man, I can't think clear. I feel exhausted. I feel weak. I feel like my cognitive functions are not sharp. I feel like I'm just miserable. And I felt better, I would say to myself. I felt better when I was eating bad. And if you look this stuff up, you can find out that some people call it the keto flu. Some people say it can take usually it's a couple of weeks to get your system adjusted to a new diet routine, a healthy diet routine. But sometimes it can also come from it can take several weeks or a few months to balance out. So in my case, it takes months. Hello, Kimber. Okay, a little advice about the keto bread. Thank you. Anxiety can manifest from emotional and nutritional deficiencies too. In my case, it's definitely more nutritional, and that's how it was. And I tried to tell those doctors 40 years ago, it's not anything emotional or mental. It's got to do with something else. It's got to do with something that I'm eating. Something that I'm eating, and they couldn't find anything because I didn't go to the right kinds of doctors. All they wanted to do was try to give you other ways of controlling it, giving you some pills and stuff. And that wasn't the answer. Okay. Anyway, I'm going back 40 years. But the thing is, these things returned. And I was eating the keto bread. And also, here's the big one. Everybody ready for this? Are you ready? On Wednesday, I had a Whopper. I went into Burger King and I had one Whopper. No soda. Well, actually brought it home. I went and got a Whopper, and I brought the Whopper home, and I had it with my 0 calorie, 0 sugar LaCroix seltzer. Okay, let me tell you something. It was out of this world. That burger, because I hadn't had one in a couple of months. It was really good. But I was only one. I only did it one, and that was it for the whole day up until dinner. I had one Whopper. Didn't eat anything else all day. And then at dinner, I had a normal dinner. And somehow, I went from 307 to 304 in the middle of the week. I'm telling you. Also, I went to a movie theater again. I went to that same movie theater I went to a week ago on a Tuesday night, where I had to get something there to eat. I wanted to eat something. It was an excuse to eat something bad, I guess, because I could have found a way to eat something else, but at the movie theater, I decided to have one brownie. So this past week, if you want to call it cheating on the diet, if you want to call it not eating well, eating things I shouldn't, I had one brownie, just one little brownie all week, and I had one Whopper the whole week, which I haven't had a Whopper in 2 months, over 2 months. So big deal. And my weight went down and then it went up again. I also tapered off from my walking. For quite a few days, I didn't do any walking. So no walking, eating a loaf of keto bread over the course of 7 days. Well, my girlfriend had 2 slices of it too, but figure that out. They're not big loaves anyway, but over 7 days. So a loaf of keto bread, one Whopper, one brownie, And I also had a couple of nights, I had a glass of milk with honey in it. I take a glass of milk, I pour in a little honey, I stir it up, and I drink it 11 o'clock at night. Milk and honey before bed. And still, after all is said and done, I lost 2.4 pounds this week. You know, but during the middle of the week, but yesterday it seemed like I gained some water or something. I don't know. It's confusing. I basically started at 307. Then I went down to 304 in the middle. Then I went up to 307 again yesterday. And now I'm back to 304 on Sunday. How that happened, I don't know. Water weight, whatever. I'm not saying that I should do that more often. The cheating. I shouldn't be doing that. I also want to add one other thing, and I'll try to get to some of the comments here if there are any more coming. I found something very important that I'm going to start eating, and I realize there's some risks, and I'll talk about that. That's walnuts. We have shelled walnuts at home. My girlfriend has shelled walnuts. I don't like walnuts very much. I'm not a big fan of eating nuts, but I started doing research, and I read that sometimes having just like a handful of walnuts, not a lot, just a handful, can help you cognitively. A lot of people out there will laugh at that. But there were a couple of attacks that I had, or spells that I had. Whatever it was, I said I wasn't feeling too clear. And a couple of times I would have the nuts. And within a short period of time, I felt a lot sharper, felt a lot better, believe it or not. Sometimes it worked more than not. It worked this morning. I woke up, and for the first hour this morning, I was really out of it. Finally, I went in there, I took a handful of nuts, I did it. And this is now, it's 3:30 in the afternoon now. I did this at like 8:30 in the morning, and I feel good. So I rely, and if you look it up, you'll find out. It'll tell you all the things about walnuts, the good things about it. Very good for you. And at first I thought it was crazy. I said, could this really be working? And it did. So I'm going to rely on a handful of walnuts probably every day of my life because it helps cognitively. I also have eaten berries. I've been eating berries. So blueberries, specifically blueberries. And as I say, the reason that I have the blueberries is because they seem to last longer in my refrigerator. I know I haven't yet bought frozen berries. I know people have suggested that. So this particular week, guys, I was all over the place. And, and the weight went from high to low to high again to low again. And at least I'm here 7 days in, week 8, having lost 2.4 last week for a total loss in 2 months of 14.6. So I know there's, and I walk. Yes, but yesterday I made sure I did everything right. Yesterday I made sure I walked a lot. I made sure that I did it intense workout with the walking. I didn't stroll. I walked pretty good. There's a freaking gnat in here that wasn't here till I started the show. It's the same guy. Anyway, so that's it. I already said a lot of stuff. 23 minutes I've been flapping. So let's see what people have said here. I want to just catch up a little bit. Can you take 2 slices of keto bread and make yourself a carb-free Whopper and make a video of it? No, I won't do that. I won't do that. And, I don't believe in, I want the real thing if I'm going to have it. True, but you aren't really eating keto at all. If you eat fruit and vegetables, you are getting plenty of carbs, just lower bad starch and sugar carbs. Yeah, I'm going to continue to eat fruit. That's not going to stop. I'm going to eat bananas, berries, and I said I was going to put apples back in it, and I want to do that. I'm going to eat fruit. Absolutely. I'm not a person who believes in something, say carnivore, only meat, nothing else. So I believe in meat, vegetables, which I eat too. I have vegetables, meat, vegetables, and fruit. Pretty much, and nuts. Pretty much that's what I'm doing, I think, right? All right, so we won't call it keto then, but keto Whopper might go viral. Yeah, this is true. I have a Whopper with cheese, but not the bacon. But I know bacon's fine. But okay, Jill says a Whopper with a bun will spike your blood sugar and insulin, and the brownie, of course. You had a brownie last week. It's not just about calories and weight. You ate the honey late. Brownie Whopper spikes bad. Well, that's the thing. I wonder because on the one hand, when I first was eating the keto bread, and when I was first having the Whopper and a brownie, and the Whopper and the brownie are 2 days apart, by the way. There's a brownie on Tuesday and a Whopper on Wednesday. And not because it was Whopper Wednesday. I thought about that as I bought it. I'm like, people are going to say it's Whopper Wednesday, which it wasn't. But anyway, anyhow, yeah, I didn't feel good. But at times, like I said, I was toying with the idea that because I was having these crashes or these lowering of sugar lowering, or feeling like I was having a lull, I was thinking it might be better in my diet to put a little bit of carbs in there. I don't really know yet. I'm not 100% carb free. Of course not. What I'm not eating is, now, other than the brownie, of course, right? Other than the brownie, of course, which is complete crap and complete sugar and chocolate, all that stuff. Or chocolate. There's good kinds of chocolate too, right? Dark chocolate. But anyway, the brownie's bad, and I think the keto bread probably wasn't the best, and neither was the bun in the Whopper burger. However, still lost 2.4. I lost 2.4 pounds this week. That's the facts, and that doesn't mean I'm going to do it every week. Of course, I'm not. And at first, I don't know if it raised my insulin level. I don't know if it made me feel bad. Here's the thing, Jill and everybody, listen up. As I tell you the story, for you, the way it sounds, it might sound like cause and effect. Well, the guy ate these things and he didn't feel good. No, actually, I didn't. I felt bad. I was feeling bad even before I ate those bad things. I was saying to myself, why am I eating good if I'm not getting anywhere and I'm feeling bad? I know it takes time, but sometimes I was thinking, hey, sometimes a little boost by eating stuff like that. I'm not talking about a bowl of ice cream. I'm not talking about a big, giant 2-liter bottle of Coca-Cola or any soda. But anyway, I lost the weight. Makes me think that sometimes, you can get away with a little bit of it, but it's not that I want to do it all the time. Can't do it all the time. Why no walking? This is your favorite time of year. It can help you in many ways to include mood. Well, first of all, when I walk, most of the time when I walk, it is at the shopping mall. I walk inside, okay? But I have walked a lot outside. So I have walked out in the summertime weather. I have done that. I've walked a number of times right outside. So I have. But sometimes 2 or 3 days go by where I don't do any walking, then I walk again. So I've walked outside and I've walked inside. I've done both. But I haven't done it like I was doing it. I haven't done it steadily, say 6 or 7. I usually take a day off, even when I'm doing really well with the walking. I usually skip a day. I usually walk 6 days a week. Okay, usually. So there you go. I like this. I don't know if Kimba made this up or if this is something that they've said somewhere, but this seems to be the case. Eat nuts to not feel nuts, because that's what I'm feeling. I hate to say I was feeling nuts, but I mean, when you feel like you're not yourself and you're not. I could say a lot of things. I'm not going to describe it because people won't get it. Some people out there have gone through similar things and they know what I mean. But when you feel detached from yourself, or you just feel like you're not yourself and you're not functioning, it really sucks. It really sucks. And the eating nuts helped. At least for now, it helped. Hello, Robert P. Thank you for joining in. I suspected that you need, hi Andrea, by the way, more calories for your body to function. And that's true. We've said that. Yeah. I've been under eating a lot, believe it or not. I mean, sometimes, some days I'm not under eating, but a lot of days I am under eating. So I think it goes both. I think I do sometimes. That said, best to increase health foods rather than processed stuff, as you know. Oh, sure, sure. Definitely. Penny Lane says, I eat Schmidt old time multigrain 647 keto bread. Tastes good. I have 1 to 2 slices a day and I am still losing weight. Very good, Penny Lane. So it works for you. I mean, I don't know. See, with me, the problem that I have is, again, that I'm concerned about is not so much the weight or the calories. I'm worried about what it does to my mind, what it does to my nerves, what it does to my uh, cognitive function. I'm more worried about that. You know, I want to know the right, you might call it a cocktail, right? They say, what's the right cocktail for me personally, Joe Mayo? What's the right cocktail for me to eat that would help me feel my best? You know, I'm already convinced that the nuts help, but I did some research. I don't know if anybody said this. I haven't gotten all the comments yet, but the research says you got to be careful of nuts because it oxalates, if I get the right word, because it could cause kidney stones. I've never had a kidney stone in my life. Please, sometimes I'm very superstitious. As soon as you say that, famous last words, I know how painful they are. A lot of people had kidney stone, and it's no party. But they say just drink a lot of water too. So I'm drinking a lot of water, and I've been peeing more. That's another thing. Last few days I've been peeing a little more. You know, you may say that's too much information, but we have to talk about this, right? I'm retaining water. I will say my feet. My feet have been swollen for some time. My ankles are swollen. I'm overweight. I'm considerably overweight still, even though I lost 14.6 pounds. I'm still overweight right now. And I'm trying to hope that drinking a lot of water, eating better, and walking, put it all together. And as I lose weight, as I walk more often, as I drink a lot of water and, pee a lot of it out, that problem will subside. Last year it subsided. My feet were getting swollen. And last year when I lost about 38 pounds, my feet were much better. They were getting normal. So I think I can do that again. However, I have been having pain in my feet the last 2 days. Mm-hmm. Okay, I never had that before. Now, a couple of things. I recently bought a new pair of shoes. I've been wearing them a couple of weeks and they seemed fine. And I'm not sure right now if it's, I know there's such a thing as like diabetic nerve pain, foot pain, stuff like that. I don't know if it's anything like that or if it's the shoes. The funny thing about it is, I'm throwing a lot at you to think about. Where it started was a couple of days ago. I was sitting here at my desk and I was wearing my shoes. When I say shoes, they're New Balance walking shoes. They're New Balances. And I was wearing them here. I never wear shoes in the house. When I come home, the first thing I do is I take my shoes off, and I don't wear shoes around the house. I just walk around in my socks, or I have a pair of slippers that I wear, but I don't wear my shoes, the tight shoes. I was sitting here for a few hours, like I'm doing now, with my shoes on. And that's when I first started feeling the pains. I was sitting, I said, man, it's a lot of it's in the arch of the foot. I can't do it with my hand, the arch of the foot. And sometimes the toe here and there, and the other foot too, but mostly with one foot. Anyway, right now I'm not leaping to thinking it's anything other than the fact that I was sitting in the shoes that are kind of tight at the computer. And when you sit at the computer, you're not just putting your feet flat. You're kind of bending them on their sides, if you know what I mean. Like you kind of like right now I'm doing it without shoes. I'm like bending, my foot on the side. So I don't know, but I'm just giving you an update as to what was going on this whole week and what I'm starting to feel or not. I eat a good handful of walnuts and pumpkin seeds as a snack instead of fill in the blank. Well, I'll tell you, that's a good thing. And I also heard that pumpkin seeds are excellent for you. But, pumpkin seeds are supposed to be excellent. Okay, Jill says walnuts are a very good snack and won't spike your blood sugar. You don't want any carbs or sugar like honey in a snack eaten alone. 10 times worse. Yeah, that if you shouldn't eat it at all, right? But if you do, don't eat it alone. And maybe Stan Laurel had something there with hard-boiled eggs and nuts. He did. I brought you some hard-boiled eggs and nuts. Now, I can't have hard-boiled eggs and nuts. It's Laurel and Hardy. I also add some dried whatever berries to my walnut mix. Look at this. A mellow fellow, hello, says, I could have very easily made a rant video of my own yesterday. My neighbors kept me up till 5 a.m. making noise. I hear you, mellow fellow. And not only that, I went to the diner for lunch today. No, I only had a cup of soup. I know soup can have a lot of salt in it. Cup of soup and a burger patty. But guess what? There was a kid in there making a lot of noise. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. There was another bratty kid in there making a lot of noise. I took my camera out, started recording myself, shaking my head, eating the soup, getting annoyed. Hey, anything for content. You got to try to make content. So thank you. And also, I asked for my burger to be well done, and I got it. And the outside was cooked. And then when I bit into it, it tasted like nothing. And I opened up the inside of the burger, and it was all red. It's freaking raw inside. 2 rants in one. Number one, a kid screaming while I was having my soup. Number two, I asked for well done, and it was all freaking raw inside. So the one guy went back, and he did it again. I hope he didn't spit in it. Hope he didn't clam in it. Nothing like a good rant. You need protein, like a lot. Well, I do eat a lot of protein. I mean, every day I eat beef, chicken, fish, right? Yeah, pork. I mean, I eat meat all the time. And, it's good. I wonder if you aren't eating enough consistently. If you eat healthy food, you can eat a lot of it. Burger patties with 2 to 3 veggies, for example, I think you'll probably feel better. That's another thing. And by the way, everybody's got their theories. What works for person A might not work for person B, and what works for B might not work for C. So I'm into suggestions, and I'm into trying anything. So if you eat healthy food, you can eat a lot of it. Yeah, well. And then the thing is, another thing that I don't understand is, I was diagnosed with hypoglycemia, low blood sugar in the 1980s. I don't know if I still have it. I think I had it then. I don't think you ever get rid of it. But the thing is, these days, nobody talks about eating frequent small meals during the day. That seems to be a thing of the past. That was always the advice. Eat 5 small meals a day rather than eating like once a day. Today, people fast for 3 days. They don't eat anything. I will never fast. I don't believe that. For me, I'm speaking for me. Again, this is individual. I know that some experts, some dietitian experts swear by doing a 24-hour fast or a 48-hour fast or 72-hour fast to really improve your body, actually, and clean it out and everything. For me, I think I do have some degree of blood sugar going down. So I don't think I can go too far with that. The most I do is go maybe 16. I do the 16 hours without it. Yeah, the keto bread tastes like rubber. It tastes like eating rubber or cardboard. Yeah, that's what I think. It's a sponge. It's a very spongy taste, like you're eating a sponge out of the sink. But strangely enough, I got used to it. You're on a plateau, I think you're saying, stuck at 236, down from 242 last month. Yeah. Ate tofu and 1/2 can cannelloni beans, protein and a bit of carbs. Yeah. Those freaking plateaus, man, no fun. Hello to Mike. Hi, Mike. I just went 12 hours without food and didn't want or miss it. Yeah, I know, but we're all different. I just don't think I can't say I don't think it's healthy. You see what I mean? Um, I can't say I don't think it's healthy because I don't know. But I know for me personally, I shouldn't really go like a day or two without eating. You know, 12 hours is fine. I mean, I've gone 16 hours. You don't, excuse me, you don't necessarily feel it all when it spikes. You can feel it when it drops after a spike. The goal is steady blood sugar and insulin, not to create spikes and dips. Yes, exactly, and that's what I did, as I was just talking about. In the late 80s and early 90s, during that period where I was eating carefully, and I was thin, as you could see by some photographs on my banner. Maybe not on this channel, but you can. Well, the thumbnail. You can see it in the thumbnail. There's a thumbnail pic I do for this show where you could see me when I was. That's me. That's me eating. No sugar and no carbs and no, eating right. But you can't see it, but I do have a green apple in my hand. I was eating fruit. But anyway, yeah, during those days, yeah. You might not feel it right away. You might feel it later. And then you can't always identify where it came from, right? If I miss rice, I use black wild rice, which is a grass, not rice, and it doesn't raise my sugar. If that's is that the thing about counting your steps? No. No, you probably think, oh, this guy Joe, man, everything is no, 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 every suggestion, but I don't need that. I just go by times. I walk right now. I'm back to 30 minutes. I was walking 40 minutes for a while. I'm doing 30 again. I'll get back to 40. I'm sure I'll get more than that eventually. There are extensive blood panels you can do to tell you what type you are, carb tolerant versus not. Yeah, exactly. I just got some Brazil nuts, and they have selenium, which is an important trace mineral. I was strict carnivore for a week before the keto flu went away. That's another thing, but that's the thing. You see, everybody says it takes a week or two. You feel like shit for a week or two. I've been feeling like shit off and on for 2 months. With me, it's eight weeks and so far. But anyway, if you're adding sugar, fruit, it can take up to a month. Once you get through it, all the cravings go away. Well, that's interesting. Yeah. See, I don't say no to everything. You can definitely overdo nuts. An ounce or less a day is usually okay. Yeah, I don't weigh them per se. I don't measure them. I just put like a modest handful, not a full handful, like from like this, just in the palm of my hand. I just take that. I take it like a medication these days, in a way. Yeah, well, I try to do that too. Yeah, Robert, I try to do that, and I really hope that's going to get better because you could be magnesium deficient. A majority of people are these days. Yeah, I've heard about that. I was looking up where do you get magnesium from naturally. I'm not going to take magnesium, and I don't want to take it, in supplement form. I think pumpkin seeds was one of them, and I think avocados is another one. My girlfriend puts avocados in the salads, so I eat avocado every time I have a salad, which is most nights. Most nights is avocado involved, but there's a few nights where she doesn't do the avocado. Instead, she just does vegetables, broccoli, carrots, string beans, But yep. Hello to Day Tripper. What's going on? Day Tripper. Pumpkin seed. There you go. Pumpkin seeds have great magnesium. Just be careful with how many because it's very calorie dense. I'll keep that in mind. You see, I'd rather do pumpkin seeds than do magnesium supplements. Yeah, just a tablespoon of pumpkin seeds. Very good. Very good. Yeah, this is great advice and support. And I thank you all, by the way, for being here. This is good. 4D man, hey, I had 3 hard-boiled eggs today on their own, no nuts. Wow, you're eating solid food. That's good. I hate rare burgers too. Well done only. Yep. And this is true. This is right. I know this. Yeah. You have to be careful of diverticulitis if you're eating a lot of nuts, right? But I don't know if this matters. I'm just telling you. For the long time now, for 25 years or so, every morning I start the day off with a glass of Metamucil fiber. Now, one of my GI guys, gastrointestinal guys in the 90s, told me that that'll help you from getting diverticulitis if you eat fiber every day. You know, it's tough. You know, okay, I have to get more protein from beans and tofu as my kidneys can't handle too much meat, right? How are your joints and back? What do you eat for pain? Well, all I could say is I don't want to say, excuse me, that I'm always afraid. I'm superstitious. Once I say, oh, my back is fine, the next thing you know, I'll have a bad back. But I've never really had back problems, I'm happy to say. But the fact that I'm in a reclining chair a lot, and a lot of times I don't sleep in a bed, I sleep like that. That sometimes bothers my back a little bit. But my joints seem to be okay. But I do have knee arthritis. I went through a lot of problems with arthritis in my knees when I was still working. I could tell you the year, 2003. 2003, I developed pain in both my knees, arthritis, when I was a mailman. And for me, what helped was taking glucosamine, OsteoBiflex brand, especially. OsteoBiflex, two capsules of glucosamine every day. I started taking it in 2005. I've now been taking glucosamine every day, 2 capsules a day for 21 years, right? And I swear by it. Now, it's not for everybody. If you're from what I understand, I'm not a doctor, but from what I understand, if you take glucosamine, you give it like 3 months, it should work for you if you're not too far gone. If you're too far gone, I think with your arthritis, it won't do anything. But I've been taking it for years. And there's been times over the past 20 plus years, there have been times where I have stopped or I forgot to take them. I ran out and maybe I go a week or sometimes a week and a half without taking it. And I start getting some knee problems again. So, because basically from what it is from what I understand, it's cartilage. It like builds the cartilage. It helps with the cartilage in your knee if your cartilage is not all depleted. From what I understand, I'm just telling you what my understanding is. And you have to check with your doctor too. If it's okay, you might not be able to take it. It's also, if you're allergic to shellfish, I'm pretty sure that glucosamine has to do with shellfish. So, but anyway, I swear by it personally. Yeah, very nice. 4 a.m. My God, man, it's incredible. 4 a.m. You got to be kidding me. It's bad enough at 11 a.m. It's bad enough. Bad enough at 12 noon. What do I eat to reduce stomach acid? Do I eat anything to reduce stomach acid? Not anything that I know of. Oh, yeah, the dumbbells. We keep talking about dumbbells, and of course, I haven't done them yet. Or am I ever going to do them? Yep. But these things are all in the back of my mind. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Thank you for reminding me, Ramoga. I mentioned all the things that I eat. I also eat cheese. I do. Simple as that. And I'm going to continue to eat cheese, When I say eat cheese, I take a little piece, a little tiny, you take a block of cheese and I cut off a slice. Or sometimes I eat those string cheeses. They're individually wrapped. You take like a little piece of cheese out of it, peel it, the cellophane off and eat it. I know it's not great stuff, but I'm fine with cheese. I seem to be fine with cheese. And as I said, so far, 8 weeks into this diet, I've lost 14.6, which is over my desired amount of 7 pounds a month. So it's a little over my goal. So I'm happy. You could eat a hard-boiled egg, two for a great snack, 70 calories each. The small snacks that raise blood sugar ruin the metabolism and create crashes. Interesting. By the way, if I'm just going to have eggs, like yesterday for breakfast, I had eggs. I have 4 eggs. That's what I eat, 4 eggs, and that's a decent amount of calories right there, right? That's 280 calories or so right there. Because I got people say you think that you don't want to eat a lot of calories, but as has been said before, Andrea said it before, you don't want to undereat. I do fast 72 hours at least once a month. It helps my blood sugar the rest of the month. Like I say, we're all individuals, and and I really hope that a lot of doctors out there, a lot of physicians, a lot of nutritionists, a lot of dietitians, I hope they realize everything's individual. You can't say this is no good for everybody. Well, there's some things that are not good for everybody for sure. I'm going to get a drink of water. I don't want to prepare 4 to 5 small meals a day. So I tried it. Yeah, but here's the thing. When we say meals, a meal could be a handful of nuts, snacks. You know what I mean? When I was eating, back when I was super thin and I was eating 5 small meals a day or 6, it was just like I'd get up in the morning and have a bowl of oatmeal. That would be a meal. Then 3 hours later, I'd have an apple. That would be a meal. 3 hours after that, I'd have a handful of nuts. That would be a meal. Then dinner I'd have chicken and vegetable. That would be a meal. Do you know what I mean? A meal was only snacks. Doesn't mean an actual meal like you have a plate with, potatoes and meat and everything with a fork and a knife. It's just that, you would take a little baggie and bring some stuff with you. That's what I'm doing. If you look, I don't know if you can see it in the picture. I don't know the thumbnail that I use for this, usually for these videos. You'll see me when I was real slim, when I was on this routine. And I don't know if you can see the apple in my hand. I'm holding an apple, a Granny Smith apple, a green apple. I was at a Paul McCartney concert in that photograph, and I brought an apple with me because I had to make sure I ate. You would, everywhere you went, you just brought like a Ziploc bag or something of nuts or a piece of cheese or some slices of fruit. That was what was meant by eating meals, you see. Hello, George. Thank you for joining us. It's funny. I heard on the radio today, you're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you, Frankie Valli. Somebody's calling. We'll have to wait. Because it's Mikey Arugula again. Mikey, you seem to always interrupt my shows. Hold on a minute. Trying to text a live show. There he goes again. Get the message. Did you get the message? Man. One more. Okay. Anyway, I eat hard-boiled eggs as a snack. I was putting a little avocado mayo on them. And by the way, I'm still eating Miracle Whip. And by the way, I had a couple of stores that were stocking up on Miracle Whip. Guess what? They're not stocking it anymore either. I did my first order online. I placed an order for 3 jars of Miracle Whip online. Now let's hope when they get here, the expiration date's not expired. Because you don't know what they're going to give you, what dates are going to be on them. Yeah, I'm still eating Miracle. I'm going to have my little treats here and there. Absolutely. Seed oils and corn syrup right there. And I could do better. I know I could do better. I could do better. As a diabetic, I do eat blueberries, strawberries, and apple now and then. More blueberries. I like that. And there's this too. What about that too? They say if you're not eating a lot of carbs, you need more salt. I still think I'm getting enough salt. I never add salt to anything. You'll never see me with a salt shaker like that, ever. but I think I eat enough salt. Avocado is a great potassium to counter sodium retention, and it doesn't raise blood sugar. Yeah, I have to eat more avocado. I got to make sure I'm eating avocado every day. Although, you know that I did read somewhere that it's not good to eat avocado every day either. Jesus, man. But anyway, yeah, avocado is a good food. I think avocado may be what they call a superfood. It's a superfood. I have not had roasted beetroot. I have beets. I like beets. I also have some chewable ginger slices I eat once a day. Also, chew nuts or anything. I haven't had a salad in 4 years. I eat till I'm full whenever I'm hungry. I still lost 50 pounds. Very good. There's some carnivore people that swear by not eating salads and greens and vegetables. I don't agree with it. That's just me. You know, let's put it this way. My take on carnivore is that I believe in eating meat. I'm not anti-meat. I believe in eating meat. I eat meat every day of my life now. Every day. When I was a child, I never wanted meat unless it was a hot dog. I never had wanted. I always wanted pasta and bread and sandwiches, or unless it was, some kind of deli meat in between my sandwich when I was a kid. But anyway, I believe in eating meat. It's just that I don't believe in only eating meat. The carnivores that eat only meat, the carnivores that eat only meat and eggs and bacon, and that's it. Meat, eggs, and bacon. That's it. I personally am one of those people that believe it's not that good for you. But again, I do know, because there are a lot of people on here, and I'm not a doctor. I'm not a physician. I'm going to say it a lot. I'm not, I'm not a nutritionist, but my own feeling is that even it works. I know it works because there's lots of people that have YouTube channels that say they've lost tons of weight. They've lost tons of weight and they feel great. They feel better than they ever have. They feel strong, alert. They're thin. It's worked. But they also, some of the women have lost their hair from eating the carnivore diet. And they got it back again. They figured how to get it back again, whether they had collagen or biotin or whatever they're having. But the point of the matter is, I personally don't think only meat and nothing else is that great for you. You can get good fiber in many foods like avocado. Versus, I have no problem with Metamucil. No problem taking Metamucil. It's served me well, so I'm gonna keep doing it. Definitely going to keep doing it. I have no problem with it. And of course, the one that I have is no added sweeteners. I take Metamucil ingredients or whatever it's called, psyllium husk or whatever fiber, nothing else. Of course, they have orange flavor. They have artificial sweeteners. You have to look. I have one store, only one of my stores, drugstores, has Metamucil with it says no sweeteners, no added sweeteners, sugar or nothing. Fiber slows down glucose spike. It's best eaten in broccoli, avocado, etc. Slows down carbs from spiking blood sugar. Well, that's good because I do eat it, but I get it fiber that way. Cheese is a good snack as it won't spike blood sugar or insulin. And it's protein also, right? Yes, I agree. Sometimes I'll have cheese with it, some apple slices. Yes, I haven't done it since I started the diet again, but in my past life I've done it. I don't worry about that. Again, some people are afraid to eat the yolks. No way. I love the yolk. I'm not going to eat only egg whites. I love the yolk of the egg. That's my favorite part of the egg, is the yellow part, the yolk. There's no way I'm going to do without it. So forget that. That's not going to happen for me. BF, what was that? What is that? The highest was 305, average 280. After 2 years now, I maintain below 240. No, that is good. That sounds like good numbers. My goal for next year is 220 maintained. The next step is 200. Yeah, I hear that. Joe, I say this because I care. You seem hesitant to really attack this. You dabble in a lot of ideas. People aren't that different when it comes to weight loss. This isn't rocket science. Well, let's not have an argument because I'm sorry, everybody's an individual. It's worked. I got the figures right here. I lost 2.4 pounds last week, and I lost 14.6 total. That's over the amount that I want to. Look it up. Ask Google what is considered safe weight loss. They'll tell you losing 1 to 2 pounds a week is safe. Right now, I'm losing just under 2, right? Almost 2 pounds. I mean, I'm within that 1 to 2 pounds. So I'm not hesitant to attack anything. I've been doing great. I'm a little offended by it, to tell you the truth, Empty Glass. I have succeeded. I have done well. I've lost over 14 pounds in a short time. What's the problem? If I'm sitting here and I haven't lost anything, and I'm like, gee, guys, I don't understand. I've been doing this for 8 weeks and I've only lost 4 pounds. What the hell am I doing wrong? That's a different story. No, the yolks are when there are vitamins are like whatever that is. Yolks are where are the vitamins. Never eat just egg whites. Takes a high nutrient food and ruins it by eating whites and not the yolks. There you go. Well, that whole thing, calories in, calories out, eat less calories, burn more calories. Yeah. I mean, I know somebody who lost 75 pounds. It took this person about a year and a half to lose 75 pounds. Didn't exercise at all. Okay. What can I tell you? Just, what can I tell you? Everybody's different, and it's different for me now. Like I was telling, I might have said before, I just said I lost 14.6 pounds in 2 months. When I was 30, I lost like 70 pounds in 3 months. I'm 64 now. I'm not 30 anymore. Right. Yeah. Eat less calories than you burn. Sure. No, I mean, I know that's the basic, except for the keto week. My sister used to make pizza using cauliflower in place of wheat. Oh, well, yeah, I eat sardines, not a lot, but I've eaten sardines. And then there's that too. I know people who do a sardine diet, they have that out there too. Eat nothing but sardines for 30 days, or nothing but sardines for 2 months. And they feel good mentally and physically, and they lose a lot of weight. So there's that too. And if Empty Glass, if you're still here, and I hope you are, please don't take it the wrong way. If I came on strong, just this is what happens. People give advice, and sometimes you take it, sometimes you don't. If you listen, there's certain people here that have said things, and I said, "Oh, good idea. Yeah, I like that. I'll try that," or whatever. So I do listen to some. I'm a doctor. He says I can prescribe what books to read. Kidney beans are another good source of protein. Yeah, I was thinking of getting more heavy into the beans. The only issue with avocado is it can hinder weight loss if it's too much eaten due to the calories. Oh yeah, no, I wouldn't eat more than half an avocado a day, if that. No, I wouldn't eat more than that. Here's a tip: take your string cheese out for a couple of hours. It's much better room temperature. No, I disagree. Calories in, calories out. Everyone is the same there. Some people they can try forever and they don't get anywhere. And this says it all. You're proof that it's working. Thank you for this channel. Thank you. And hit the like button. Hit the subscribe if you're all the people here probably already have. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. It just rubs me the wrong way when people say that, as if come on, this is not complicated. For some people, it's more complicated. And there's people, and what about the people that can eat whatever excuse the language, whatever the fuck they want, and they could eat pie, cake, ice cream, milkshakes, cheeseburgers, soda pop, and they could sit there and be thin their whole life and not even necessarily exercise because that's their metabolism, And they're the ones a lot of times that sit there and go calories in, calories out. It's like, let's say you give up all your food, if you had to. You know, that. Thank you, Empty Glass. I appreciate that. I do, and I would ask you, sir, for your indulgence and patience with me. I like you, and I like that you come here. So bear with me. Sometimes you're trying to help, and I don't mean anything. I get emotional about it. Who doesn't? Not for everyone, but after 60, 2 meals a day should be good. Well, again, you're right. It's not for everyone. There are some people that have hypoglycemia and have to eat 5 or 6 small meals a day. But that's what I pretty much try to do now. I'm pretty much trying to do 2 meals a day, pretty much, with a snack in the middle. In fact, I'm due for one right about now. I'm going to end this soon because it's gone on a bit. I like to do this an hour 10, hour 15, 70, 75 minutes. So again, what I basically do is, like today, my first meal wasn't until noon. It was a little late. What I do is I try to eat anywhere from between 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. usually. Sometimes if my girlfriend's off from work, we'll go to breakfast at 10 a.m. But I try to eat between the hours of, say, 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. And then I don't eat anything until dinner, which is about 7 p.m. usually, might be a little late. That's another thing, I was eating at night. I was eating at night too, a lot of this. I got to get better at that. But anyhow, but during the day, in the middle, at 3 o'clock, usually around 3, I'll have like a meal at, say, 11 a.m. I'll have a snack at 3, and then I'll have the regular meal at 7. That's pretty much what I do. And then try to eat nothing else until I go to bed from like 7 p.m., but till like 11 or 12 the next day in the morning. That's like 15, 16 hours, whatever the hell it is, 14, 15, 16 hours of fasting. But the thing is, I like to eat with my girlfriend. My girlfriend often has to work to the point where by the time she gets home from work and by the time she whips something up, like, she's the cook. I don't cook well, so either we heat up leftovers together. I could eat before she comes home. I could eat at 6 p.m. I could eat at 6 p.m. and be done with it. But sometimes, like the other night, we had to eat at 8:30 p.m. By the time she got out and the time we had the food ready, it was 8:30, which is late. That I'm trying to avoid. But I like to eat with her. I don't. Anyway, I'm going to start signing off soon. You're doing good with weight loss. Not good to lose more than 1 to 2 pounds a week. Exactly. Look it up. I'd say your tweak should be more around cleaner ingredients, more whole food, less sugar in any form. And I think ideally, Jill, you're 190, 200% correct. I think you're right. But occasionally, if I can get away with a Whopper during the day, one day a week, maybe I will. But then again, I don't know. Because, I got to see if it does things to my moods and my physicality, my body chemistry, because it's not worth it if that's it. Yeah, in my 40s, I lost 70 pounds in 12 weeks, but didn't change my lifestyle. Yeah, exactly. Gained most back, not anymore. Lifestyle. All right. Okay, whatever you say, Adam. You do you, and I'll do me. Okay, it's working for me. I hope your way's working for you. All the different hacks that work for people just help them achieve that deficit, but you cannot argue the laws of thermodynamics. Okay. Like I say, I know it works, but I'm telling and pretty much that's what I'm doing. I mean, pretty much, let's face it, that's what I'm doing. I'm eating less calories than I'm burning. But what I agree with JD. I'm trying to suggest you make a big move toward healthy eating rather than eating less. You can gorge yourself on good, clean food. Right. I hear you with that. Seriously, I do. I'm not just giving you lip service. If I disagreed, I would tell you. Yeah, no, I know what you're saying there. And I think you're making a lot of sense there, Empty Glass and JD. But, I mean, how much freaking lettuce do you want to eat? Let's be honest about it. How many vegetables do you want to eat? How much fish do you want to eat? I mean, I'm doing it. I'm doing it because it's healthy and better. But once in a while, have that brownie. I don't know, man. We'll see. I tried the starvation diet, calories in, calories out for years, and it worked, but I could never stick with it. Okay. I'm not going to go into too many details about this from Olga, but I don't need prunes. I need the opposite of prunes, if you get my meaning. Okay. And when it comes to Metamucil, which I drink every day of my life, can do one of two things for you. It can help you be more regular, or it could stop you from being too regular. I choose the latter. uh, yes, Jill's talking to Adam. Sure, you can lose with calorie reduction, but that does nothing for blood pressure, water retention, and health overall. Eating low calories that are largely junk is terrible health wise. Well, yeah, I don't think he disagree with that. 100 and oh, exactly. There he is, right there. Yeah, 120 calories of Snickers versus 120 strawberries will make a difference in your health. Sure. Lots of people who eat junk and are thin can and often are still extremely unhealthy on the inside. Bad diet catches up with everyone regardless of weight. I hate to use this, but consider my friend Bazooka Joe, who runs my record store. You know, he used to eat nothing but crap, and, you know, he's not well. And I wish him well. Yes, today is August 16th, which is the day that Elvis passed. Yeah, 49 years ago today. Next year's the big one, 50 years. And I appreciate it. Losing weight is not worth anything if he doesn't stay off, or if the sugar and junk causes diabetes and a heart attack. I don't know what the yes is to. You see, that's the thing. I don't know what that's to. We're done, Adam. We're done. All right. So everybody else, thank you. It's been a great 2 months. I've achieved my goal. I went over my goal. I lost more than my goal. So I'm very happy. Let's hope the next two are just as good. All right, everybody. Cheers. Thank you all. See you next time.